Welcome everyone to the Business Builder. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late today. We had some link trouble, but we are here now and we are going. And I'm very excited to be introducing our guest speaker today. Liana is a data scientist, business analyst, and a certified financial planner with extensive experience in helping business owners to craft successful strategies. And not just strategies that will empower them to reach personal and business goals. She excels at transforming raw data into actionable wisdom. And today she's going to teach us how to do that as well, using that knowledge and wisdom to make informed decisions and create sustainable growth in our businesses. So, Liana, over to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I had to think which time of the day it was to everybody, if I may start sharing. You can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, to start off, the title is Crafting a Recipe for Success. So let's play a little game. Let's pretend that we are all contestants in a cooking competition. So, what is our mission today? Our mission is to recreate a dish, but without a recipe. What is our vision today? We're going to back engineer or reverse engineer the dish. Maybe it is a barbecue, maybe it is something that's been cooked in the oven, maybe it's a dessert, doesn't matter what it is. We're going to reverse engineer using our senses to determine as best as we can what that dish is. And then we want to win the first prize, which is a trip to Mauritius. I don't know. Whatever you want it to be. So how do we do it? We've got a dish. Yes, we can sample it. So we can use our senses. We can taste it. We can look at it. You can feel it. You can smell it. You can also see, is it something that's going to go into a fridge? Is it going to go into an oven? Is it going onto a barbecue, onto a braai? And from that, you can actually start writing down the ingredients. By writing down that ingredients, you're actually starting to create a recipe. So we've identified our mission. We've identified our vision. We're now starting to create our recipe. Once we've written down the ingredients that we've identified, we can now start putting tools and techniques to it. Now we read through our recipe and we can determine where are we not so sure, where are we very sure, and from that we can now, so those are our strengths, our weaknesses, and from that we can actually now start planning how to recreate this dish. And as we start creating, we keep on testing. So keeping that in mind, let's move on and get a bit more technical, but not too technical. So our objectives today is an introduction to business analysis. And we're also going to look at strategy planning for small businesses and startups. We're going to do exactly like I said, craft mission and vision statements, analyze the business environment, so our ingredients and what was outside, the atmosphere, the judges, our environment. We're going to look at how to do a SWOT analysis, unbiased, and then we're going to plan and implement strategies and not forget about risk. What's the importance of business data analysis and strategy planning? And data is often a word that scares people. And that is purely because the data hasn't been converted, it hasn't been prepared, it's not structured, it's not giving you a picture. But you need that data in order to make informed decisions. For example, it helps you to stay ahead of competitors, helps you to achieve your business goals. So in the example of coffee shop, use your sales data to identify popular products, popular time of day, adjust inventory based on the data, and you can do some planning for maybe new locations, or maybe you want to add another product. So if we look at data, this is what I call unstructured data. And yes, I can understand why this puts people off. Because what have we got here? We've got dates, we've got times, we've got locations, we've got whatever that coffee shop is serving. And I will most often use a coffee shop because I think we can all associate with that as the example. But looking at that is very confusing. Now, this is open source data, static data that I've pulled off the internet. So no real life example here. I've taken those exact data. Well, like I said, I took it off the internet. But if we change it to a dashboard, for example, all of a sudden, it makes a picture. We can actually see what is happening. We can see what time of day. We can see the product or the flavors. So all of a sudden, you've got something that tells you a story. And that, to me, is the fascination of data. Now, data, I have to point out, you've got qualitative data and quantitative. Quantitative, quantity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Qualitative, to me, this is how I remember, it has got quality, which means, is it an apple or a pear? Are the people smiling? Do they like your product? Do they like your services? So that is data too, which can be analyzed. If we look at another example here, financial data. If you take your profit and loss statement and you make a picture of your profit and loss month on month, it's not always, doesn't have to be beautiful, but at least it makes sense and it sketches a picture, which is the important thing here, is to have your data in such a format that you've got a picture. Now let's look at the mission and vision statements. They are crucial for any business. It defines the business's purpose. It outlines the primary objectives. Your vision statement, it outlines your long-term goals, describes your aspirations. Where do you want to be in 10 years' time? Are you building your business to sell it? Do you have the type of business where you want to accumulate funds as much as possible, which often happens in a service type of environment? So you need to accumulate and grow so that you've got enough, and then you just close your business. So your mission and your vision. Your mission is your current. Who are you? What do you offer? Why you do that? Vision, where do you want to be at what point in time? And why? So yes, I'm paying a lot of attention to your mission and vision statements. So it's important that when crafting the statements, keep them clear, concise, and aligned with your core values. Who are you? I keep on saying that. Who are you? So, for example, a mission statement to provide affordable and high-quality products that improve the daily lives of our customers, to deliver fresh, locally sourced baked goods that bring joy to our community. Vision, to be the leading bakery in our city, known for our quality, innovation, and community involvement. This is for you to decide. I cannot do it for you. Sit down, think about it. Like I said here, actions. You will draft mission statement. Identify what drives your business. What makes you happy? Are you having fun? Make sure you have fun. Make changes so that what you do in your business, you have fun with. Consider the core purpose and the values. Envision the future of your business. Set long-term goals and aspirations. So I really, really encourage you to spend the time and write this down on a piece of paper. Now we get to the environment. We've got the microenvironment, which we need to analyze. We've also got the macro environment. So first we'll look at the micro. This is directly related to your business, such as customers, suppliers, competitors, stakeholders. A typical tool to use would be Porter's 5 forces, and I'll go into that in detail. It helps you to investigate and analyze your micro environment. The first one of Porter's 5 forces, and people sometimes call it disruptors. I don't like the word. To me, it's Porter's 5 forces. Competitive rivalry. It examines the intensity of competition amongst existing firms in the industry. Who are your competitors? So, for example, small businesses face intense competition from both local and larger companies. You might have the little coffee shop, and you're competing with the bigger Colombo, for example. Yours will have to be like a niche. You give specialized service or products to attract your customers. So yes, like I said here, your local cafes, large chains like Starbucks. So doing an analysis of your competition, it helps you to differentiate your offerings and find unique selling points. If there are questions, just stop and ask. I can't see the screen, so. Supplier power. Definition of supplier power. That very directly influences your pricing and the quality of your materials. So in the context for small business, less negotiating power compared to larger companies because you're buying a smaller quantity of whatever ingredient. If you're providing products, small bakeries reliant on few suppliers, very vulnerable to price increases. How do you mitigate that risk? Diversify, get more suppliers, and maybe you can source locally instead of bringing your coffee beans from Johannesburg. You can find it on a farm down the south coast. I'm in Durban, by the way. There are coffee farms down the south coast. So again, you need to investigate these options. To me, probably the most important person is and always will be your clients. So buyer power. Why are the people buying from you? What power do they have over you? How do they determine or cause you to have to offer your product at a certain pricing, at a certain quality? So a small business often operates in a niche market. Customer loyalty is crucial for success. Think about a small boutique clothing store. They must cater to the customer's preferences to retain that loyalty. We want the customer to always come back. Offer a personalized service to reduce the buyer power. You've got to have that something special, that something extra. And of course, build strong relationships. Partake in events that the clients might have. Show your support the same way that they are supporting you, support them too. Next, threat of substitution. What is the likelihood of your clients finding alternative services or products? So as a small business, you need to be aware of what substitutes. When you say substitutes, my first thought would be in the retail market, the house brand. In the medicine market, last night there was something about generic medication. Okay, so you need to be aware what substitutes could give the client what you are currently giving. So the example we've got here, the local gym competing with home workout apps, online fitness programs. So you've got to innovate and add a unique value to make sure that you retain your customers, so the best quality. A product that's just better for the client. New entrants to the market. Down the road here from me, a small little shopping center, a new coffee shop is opening. Up the road is already an existing coffee shop. So I'm asking myself, how successful are they going to be? The one is attached to a church, the other one is in a little shopping center. What type of research have they done with regards to the location, for example? So you've got to, again, look at your market, your products, your services, and consider the ease of market entry for new competitors. In general, there are lower barriers to entry for small businesses, which is a threat. New food trucks can quickly enter the market. So get back to, we look again at building a strong brand and customer base. Clients always right, even if they're not. So you've got to make sure that you can, that your business is not affected with the coffee shop down the road. Customer and competitor analysis. I've been saying we need to analyze that. So customer analysis. It might be questionnaires, it might be a poll, whatever works. Understand your customer preferences. The example I've got here, maybe they prefer organic products. Make sure that you tailor your offering to meet the customer needs. Give the customer what they want. Competitor. Look at your competitors. What are their strategies? advertising, loyalty programs. You've got to be aware of that. Their pricing, they might be undercutting you. Can you then reduce your price, or can you add value to justify the higher price? You need to be in a position to position your products more competitively. Now, I don't know how many people are familiar with a Miro board. This is a tool that's often used for brainstorming. I've never seen one that looks neat and tidy. So yes, it's a whiteboard with a lot of sticky notes, and you can do it in a group, and you can put your sticky notes and discuss it. So here I'm looking at stakeholders, the different types of stakeholders, and I'm using my example of the coffee shop. The owners, the shareholders. What is their interest? If you look, I've got written on the vertical axis influence, on the horizontal axis their interest. So what we're looking at is how can the stakeholder affect your business? Or how much interest have they got? Can they actually cause you to close down? So that is, like I said there, keep satisfied, actively engage, monitor, keep informed. So in the case of owners, the interest is high, they want growth, and they want sustainability. And their influence is high. They can make major decisions that affect the operations, the employees, etc. Strategies. Employees. We've got baristas, managers, we've got some support staff. They want job security. They want a fair wage. They want good working conditions. They want career growth opportunities. Their influence is also high because they affect directly the customer experience. Then we look at customers. Well, they can make or break your business. Again, their interest, the quality of service, product variety, pricing, ambiance, their overall experience. Their influence is high. You need to keep them happy so that they keep on coming back. Suppliers. They're interested that you need to pay them. So their influence is medium. They impact product availability and the quantity, but you could replace them. But you want a reliable partnership with your suppliers. Local community. You want your neighbors to be happy. You want to be seen as making a positive contribution to the community. You need to practice ethical business practices, give local support. So a medium influence, but keep a good relationship with the community. If there are investors, they of course are interested in their investment. They want their money back, or they want growth on their investment. And if they withdraw it, the investment, it could close down the company. So we've got to keep them happy. Regulatory authorities, health and safety inspectors, local government. Their interest is actually very low, but they've got quite a high influence, as you can understand, because they can withdraw your license. Competitors. It's an indirect influence, but they could be stealing your clients. Technology. What systems are you using? Your IT provider. You've got to have a good relationship with them because you need your, say, point of sales to be functioning properly. So a medium influence. Environmental groups, if applicable. So I'm not going to go too deep into that one. And then media. How big a role does media play in your business? They could make or break you because something could be misunderstood and they give you negative reviews. So yeah, if it's the coffee shop, give them a free cup of coffee. Whatever is necessary, keep them happy. Okay, we've already spoken about Porter's 5 forces. This is from the Miro board. What I've done is I've copied and pasted the visuals from the Miro board. So competitive rivalry, high competition, the coffee shop market is highly competitive. So you need to differentiate. You need customer loyalty, building a loyal customer base through maybe loyalty programs and personalized experiences. What's the threat of new entrants? We've looked at that. The initial investment to start a coffee shop is low, but the market might be saturated. So there's a moderate threat. So to prevent new entrants affecting you, you've got to have a strong brand. We've spoken about suppliers, moderate to high. But looking back at your community, maybe source locally. Bargaining power of customers. We've looked at the client, just about the most important person in your life. So customers have a wide range of choices, which increase their bargaining power. They can easily switch to competitors if they are not satisfied with the quality, the price, or the service. So you've got to always give an exceptional service, unique products, comfortable atmosphere. Remember, I'm using the coffee shop as the example. Substitutes. At some stage, these flavored coffees were very popular. Maybe you need to do that, or start offering energy drinks. Maybe you're a coffee shop and, I don't know, add some eats to go with it. So diversify some snacks. So that is Porter's, and that is, in a nutshell, the micro environment. I've not looked at financials, which is very much part of this, but obviously on the internal side, your financials also needs to be brought into the picture. On the macro side, that's on the outside. We use the word pestle, like a pestle in water. So we're looking at political, economic influences, social influences, technological influences, environmental influences, political influences. So thinking back about my cooking competition, it's the atmosphere, the judges, your other competitors. So it's what's outside that affects your business. The economy, recession might reduce consumer spending. We have seen that. Look at what happened with COVID. You might have to adjust your pricing or market strategies. Are you keeping up with technology? You might have to start adopting new e-commerce technologies to reach a broader audience. All of this is, I'm talking very general. It needs to be tailored for your type of business. New technology trends, if we look at that, it's got the potential to revolutionize business operations. Think about AI. It could lead to increased efficiency and productivity. Economic changes could be negative, as in purchasing power, which also will affect supply and demand. Again, from the Miro board, I've just, around the coffee shop, the pestle, political regulation and policies, political stability. We know if there's uncertainty or the politicians do something funny, it affects the market. The market is driven by sentiment. You want people to be positive. At this point in time in South Africa, there's not a lot of confidence. So we're seeing it in the volatility in the markets. If you're following the JSE and so on, we can see and feel that volatility. Petrol price has been coming down, but war in Middle East will affect it, could possibly affect it negatively. There's already rumors about what's happening to the petrol price next month, up or down. We've seen a 0.25% interest rate cut. Does that really make a difference to buying power? I don't know. Maybe if you've got a very big housing loan, for example. But I'm not sure 0.25% made that much of a difference. Social, consumer preferences. There's a growing trend towards healthier and ethically sourced products. So maybe you should start offering organic coffee. Don't know if I would like that, but never mind. Demographics. We've got to look at demographics. Understand the local demographics. You need to look at things. When I say demographics, your coffee shop is sitting down here on the corner. The immediate demographics of the area, age, income levels, lifestyle. So apart from location, these are also factors that you need to take into consideration. Technological factors, digital presence. How active are you on social media if you've got the type of business that can benefit from sharing on social media? It could help to attract and retain customers. Could you start offering online delivery systems, products or services? Make sure that payment systems are modern and working properly. Mobile payments, one of the latest trends. Legal factors, make sure that you are properly licensed, that you've got all the necessary permits. Be aware of the Companies Act, labor laws. Very, very important, labor laws. Sorry. Environmental factors. Sustainability. There's an increasing awareness and demand for environmentally friendly practices. Start using, if you're not already, maybe biodegradable packaging. Promoting recycling can appeal to eco-sensitive customers. Source locally. We've mentioned that before. Now, once we've gone through this, we've got our micro, macro, mission, vision, and financial information. You've now got a picture of who you are. What is your business? At that point in time, my approach, you can now start identifying, because you've now got this picture telling you who, what, where you are. You can now start identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool because you need to know these elements in order to determine your strategies. What's the purpose of the SWOT analysis? Identify internal factors, identify external factors, and how do they impact the business. How do we conduct a SWOT analysis? List business strengths, identify business weaknesses, spot opportunities, determine threats. As an example, strong brand recognition in the local market, strength. Weakness, limited online presence, but you should be more present. Opportunities, a growing trend towards healthy eating. Your coffee shop, catering, would you be delivering coffee to some corporates down the road? Threat, new competitors. Actions, identify these. So, SWOT, I have my opinion, opportunities, market trends, digital marketing, expansion, events, workshops. This is my opinion. You need to do something similar for your business. Threat. Remember, I'm a coffee shop at this point in time. The economy, competition, supply chain issues, regulatory changes, strengths, quality, customer service, location, ambiance, weaknesses, limited resources, which is most often the case with a small business. Brand recognition. You need to get out there. Operational costs. Now you need to take these weaknesses and threats and turn them into opportunities. Your strengths and your opportunities actually form the foundation to now plan your strategies. Now you're going to start setting your goals. So I'm back to your vision. I just want to touch on this. Your goals need to be SMART. They need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. Increase social media engagement by 30%. Be specific. Within the next 3 months, I'm going to post daily and I'm going to run targeted ads, as an example. Different strategies, and I'm not going to look at within these growth strategies to all the different types, but you've got growth strategies. Involves expanding product lines. Example, introduce a new line of gluten-free products to attract health-conscious clients. Stability, maintaining. I'm actually doing that on the financial planning side. I am maintaining that side of my business. So in order to retain my customers, in order to still grow it while maintaining, improve my customer service. If it's retail loyalty programs. And unfortunately, we've also got to have a strategy in case there's ever a requirement for retrenchment. How are you going to do that? Have you got the financial resources? I call it the geezer money. You don't know what you need money for. You've got to have that geezer pot, maybe in a call account, for the geezer. Mine always breaks on a Saturday. Action plans. So we've got now our strategy. How are we going to do it? Break it down into action plans. Specific tasks. Assign responsibilities. Set deadlines. So for the gluten-free product line, research. I hope you noticed everything keeps on coming back to data. So data is not a bad thing. It needs to be our friends. Sourcing your ingredients, launching a marketing campaign. How are you going to implement it? You need to communicate clearly. You need to allocate your resources. There's a requirement for continuous monitoring. If you've got a team, assign tasks to the team and communicate, brainstorm, mirror board, talk to your team members, allocate specific tasks, and if necessary, give training. Yeah. Allocate resources. Time, money, personnel are key resources. Support your strategy through proper allocation. Budget for marketing. Set aside a specific budget for marketing efforts. Dedicate time for training your staff. Ensure, if products are involved, ensure that you've got sufficient inventory to meet the increased demand. Like I said, I'm not going deep into financials, but this is where I'm not talking accounting, I'm talking financial planning and analysis. This is where you will, as part of this exercise, you will do forecasting, you will do what-if analysis to determine, well, it's a whole exercise. How much is it going to cost you? How much money do you need to allocate? So it's a full analysis in that regard. Monitoring and evaluation. You've got to have key performance indicators, KPIs, to track progress and adjust your strategies. You've got to review your strategies. Remember I said when I'm starting to cook from my recipe, I was going to taste. So yes, I've got to keep on testing and reviewing and making the necessary adjustments. Make sure that you still on the right track to your end goal. So typically KPIs to track, sales growth, get customer feedback, keep track of social media engagement if that is important, and adjust. Taste, test. What are the typical risks? You cannot plan, you cannot have the strategy without looking at what risks are there. Typical risks for small businesses: supply chain disruptions. There's a strike, the trucks can't get through. Financial instability, cash flow, your clients aren't paying. Regulatory changes. Anybody in the financial services will know about the new Kofi Act that is imminent. For a bakery, for example, supply chain disruptions, equipment failures. What happens if my computer decides to not work tomorrow? Health and safety issues. You've got to plan for these, how to mitigate these risks. What can you do to manage your risks effectively? Diversify your supplier base. Establish relationships with multiple suppliers. That will avoid disruptions in the supply chain. Maybe you need to say bye-bye to some of your clients that are paying you continuously late, or you need to keep on threatening and bring others, or yes, get more clients. There is insurance, not short-term insurance is not my forte. But yes, you do get business interruption insurance. It covers for potential losses from unforeseen events. In my specific case, business interruption, something similar would be professional indemnity, fidelity insurance. Have contingency plans. I talked about the Geyser Fund. Prepare for unexpected situations. The important thing here is to ensure that your business will continue. What happens if you get sick? Will your business continue? There's an interesting book by Michael Gerber called The E-Myth Revisited. I read it many years ago. But in a nutshell, it boiled down to, can you, my word, can you go away for 3 months, come back, and your company is still growing, going? Something important to keep in mind. Succession. Identify potential risks. You need to sit down, consider both short and long-term risks. Small retail store risks like theft, seasonal sales fluctuations, changes in consumer preferences. Brainstorm. If you're interested, I can show you what the Miro board looks like. It's very simple to use and you can sign up for free. Brainstorm mitigation strategies. For example, install security systems to prevent theft. Diversify your product range to handle seasonal fluctuations. Do market research to stay updated on consumer preferences. In the technical field, stay up to date with what's happening in typically AI. You need to keep ahead of the game. Make sure that you actually, keep on learning. It physically boils down to you've got to keep on learning. And no, I'm not talking about enrolling in a course. You can attend events like this. There are YouTube videos. There are plenty of opportunities to keep abreast of what's happening in your industry. So I think I've almost used all my time. I'm very happy to go back to anything because I did go fast. I did put a lot of information on the slides with the idea that you can understand, almost like a do-it-yourself. So to recap, we've looked at mission and vision. Who are you? What do you do? Where do you want to go? When do you want to get there? Then only can you say how. Your mission and your vision. Environmental. Look at what's happening around you. Look at what's happening inside. People talk about working on your business, not in your business. My approach is slightly different. I say, know your business. If you know your business, you know what's positive, you know what could be negative, and you can plan accordingly to reach your goals. We've looked at strategy planning and implementation. How to implement. What type of strategies? Let me quickly mention there when I said all these different types. For example, you've got, in the case of the coffee shop, you've got forward and backwards integration. What do I mean by that? Backward integration might mean that instead of buying the coffee from a supplier from a coffee farm, I'm now going to buy the beans, and I'm going to do the raw beans, and I'm going to roast and, grind it on my premises. So freshly ground coffee for our customers. could be a sales pitch. Forward integration, there you will be looking at selling on. So you make an arrangement with a corporate where you're going to deliver 10 o'clock every day to all the directors a fresh cup of coffee with a croissant. And then you've got your vertical. There you're looking at different types, like partnerships, joint ventures, strategic alliances. Personally, I don't like mergers. I like the idea of a strategic alliance where each party retain their identity. Each party carry their own costs, but you might be passing clients on to each other. So you are good at your job, they are good at your job. This client needs both the services. I like that type of thing. It reduces risk, but for each party that I'm looking at here, it's a value-added service. So one of the studies I did was for a local bank. Should they or should they not add financial planning services? I'm talking about life cover, etc. Should they add that to their client offering? At that point in time, they were doing only investments and commercial loans. But let's not forget about the risk. So in a nutshell, I think I'll quickly show you the mirror board. And like I say, I have never ever done a nice looking one. I'm just not good at that. So exactly, it's very simple. It's got templates. It's got the sticky notes. You can even choose the color. Stick it there and write on it. So I'm not going to go through it now because it's a lot of scrolling and so on, but this is a very good tool for collaboration purposes. Just make that smaller. Okay, what's the next steps? Apply today's information. Implement the knowledge that you gained in your business. And honestly, ask, reach out. You don't have to do everything yourself. And Tamron, I've reached the end here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liana. It's a very good overview of the things you have to think about when building a business. There were some thank yous in the chat before people had to run. There aren't any questions in the chat. If you do have a question for Liana, please put up your hand or put it in the chat and we can share it with her now. I have one question, Liana. In the beginning of your slides, you had a beautiful dashboard where all this information came together. What is your recommendation for people to build a dashboard like that?
Oh, first of all, you need to determine what you want to see. You're not just going to put pictures on a dashboard for the sake of having pictures. So it actually boils down to what are your measures? What are your KPIs? From that, you can then say, look, the dashboard is just a pretty picture. You need to look at those individual elements on it. And yes, you need to make sure that it tells a proper story. So don't put unnecessary things. You need to determine what's important. And it's by analyzing your data that you can actually determine what is needed. I had the spreadsheet with a coffee shop. What of that was important? I would like to see which day of the week, which time of day, per area, and the product type. And then the quantity. The money is not so important to me. It's more the quantity that will say, and I don't know, can't remember the area. Seattle sold more coffee than tea, for example. So determine what's important for you. If you're going to do marketing, spend more money on marketing, do what if analysis. And that you can also do with and put the results on a dashboard just to make it easier. And to me, the best dashboard is one that's interactive.
Yes, yeah.
Put slicers, put filters, so that it's actually a tool that you can use, like monthly financials, your profit and loss, track it.
Very nice. And if anyone watching the webinar today, if they decide that sifting through all this data and understanding it and analyzing it is just too much for them and they want some help, what is the best way for them to get hold of you?
Well, they can get hold of me if they scan this QR code here that takes them to my LinkedIn profile, or they can get me on the website, or my email address is very simple. It's liana@lpj.co.za.
Nice and easy to
And yeah,
remember.
that's it. LinkedIn, website, Tamarin.
Yes, you can drop me an email if you need to get a hold of Liana for anything.
Yes, and I'm always happy to talk to people. I'm happy to give advice.
Fantastic. Let me just stop recording.